Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Beginner to Expert. This is part 27 Angular 7 tutorial. So in this session, I will discuss form validation with template driven technique part 3. So let's get started. So before jumping to the code section, so I will summarize what I'm going to discuss. So here prepare dynamic form fields JSON array. Describe each property. Generate field based on attribute type and field validate fields and describe reset and submit function log form field values. I prepared two JSON, one for user registration, another is the employee registration, but my component is same. So is my component will responsible to generate the field based upon the JSON you are passing to that component. Okay, and according to the JSON only, field will be validated and submit button will be means disabled. Once form is valid, then only it will be enabled, and once user click on submit, then the form values will be logged. Okay, so these things we are going to show. Flip to Visual Studio Code. To achieve all the scenario, I will create one control that is called register book. Okay, so for that I created one control inside the controls folder that is called register book. So here register book module is generated. Okay, so now I will create a template driven form TDF. Okay, and okay, I want the folder to be created inside the register book, so that's why I didn't use that hyphen flat comment. And here you can see that register book for a TDF is generated. Okay, TDF for template driven form. Now this register book module going to use forms module. Okay, and yeah, that's all I think. Now the register book, and this I will prepare mock field JSON. So that is why I'm going to create one folder mocks. So inside the mocks I will use, suppose let's say, user. Now here what I will do, I will consider one constant, and constant name for best practice, constant name should be in caps, and each word to be separated by underscore. Okay, so now first we need to concentrate on this JSON only, because this JSON will help us to build dynamically fields and validate the fields as well. Okay, so here first thing I will consider you know ID. Okay, so this ID basically database row ID, which will come from service side. So to distinguish each object. Okay, so first ID, then display you know name. So display name nothing but this name, email, phone, date of birth. Okay, so this display name. Okay, so let's say name. Then display code. So display code is nothing but to separate each field. So in earlier video I showed, if we open emp register, that component which already we have done, that here we actually using NgModel. New employee in name and email, those are the model. Okay, or you can say property of that model. So for this one only we are going to use that name. Okay, and then value. Okay, so by default it will be blank. So first time when we will open that registration form, so first by default will be all fields to be blank. Okay, now that field is required or not, for that we need to consider one boolean property is required. That would be for this name true, and is disabled, that field to be disabled or not. By default disabled will be false. Then we need pattern. Okay, so this pattern nothing but that regex pattern, regular expression to validate the field improperly. Then min length, suppose minimum length to be required 3, sorry 3, and max length to be 30. Okay, and error message, to be an object, because this error message can contains required message, pattern message, minimum length message, maximum length message. Those are the message. Okay, so first one required. So field cannot be left blank. Okay, then pattern message, nothing is there here, and mean length, sorry mean length, so minimum of 3 character is required. Okay, and I'll copy same things. I'll change for maximum of 30 characters. 30 characters are allowed. Maximum of 30 characters are allowed. Minimum of 33 characters are required. Okay, so now for as of now, for error message, error property, we we are considering. Later on you can extend this error message and extend other property as well. Okay, and okay, now consider this as of now. Now I will copy paste for other field, and I will change your name, email. I copied for 4 fields: name, email, phone, and date of birth. Okay, so for date of birth 10 minimum length and maximum length, and phone number, I took one pattern for the positive integer number, and minimum and maximum length will be 10. So user has to put exactly 10 digit mobile number. And here for email I took one pattern, regex pattern, to validate the email, and minimum 3 and maximum 30 characters are allowed. And here name, I already discussed. Now this JSON is not sufficient to generate different kind of field. Okay, like text box, number field, or select box, or text area, this kind of thing. So for that, to achieve that, what we need to do, we need to consider another more property that is called attr attribute type. So if it is kind of text box, then input type will be text box. Okay, so attribute type text box. Okay, so this text box I will copy, and for email also we need the text box, and phone number as well, and here date of birth. Yeah, date of birth also to be text box. Okay, so here all are text box. Okay, so now I think we are good now. I will copy all the things. Okay, let me copy this field and I'll make it another for employee registration, emp registration field, and okay, copy it, paste it over here, and here what I will do, I will change the constant name emp registration mock fields. Okay, now save those fields. Okay, for employee registration I will consider another two attribute, or you can say two field, that is one for salary. Okay, salary per month, here salary, and this field will be required. Okay, here name, email, and phone is not required, optional, so I will make it false. And date of birth also, yeah, date of birth is required, and the salary per month is now optional, false. And here salary minimum one, and maximum 100 character, 100 digit number. And salary, okay, I'll copy one more field. Okay, here previous previous employer. Okay, previous employer, and here prev employer. Okay, and value will be by default 0, and here it will be option, I mean to say drop down select box, and pattern will be nothing, and here minimum and maximum actually not required, but still it will be there by default 0. Okay, no, not required. Okay, by default it would be 0. And here for select box we need the options array. Okay, so what are the options to be visible to user? So that for that one we need that options array. Okay, so here I will consider title and code. Okay, for title, suppose let's say Intel company, and code. Okay, code would be like Intel. Okay, so Honeywell. So the as of now three options I'm keeping inside this JSON. Okay, now save this. So for employee registrants I've been added two extra field, that is salary per month and previous employer, and rest of four fields is same with user registration mock field. Okay, now I will I'll close all the things here. Okay, now my mock folder is ready. Okay, so I will consider one index.ts file over here, because I don't want multiple line to be generated during import uh, section. So that is why I will kept all the files inside the index.ts. So here export star from first one. Okay, for user registration. Okay, now save this page. Okay, now I will create. Okay, now what I will do. Okay, now I will create one service for this component, re register book dot service dot ts file at the rate injectable. So now my service is ready. I will go to that register book for tdf component, and here I will add providers here. Sorry. Okay, and I will inject this service public register book. Okay, okay. Now I will write one public method to fetch the fields public. But here one thing is there, like I will consider one input from parent, that is for, and here I will put the alias name like register for, and which will be a string type. Let me put that reference here. Okay, so why now question comes to your mind, that why I'm considering here one input kind of for, because here you can check my component will be same. Okay, but I need to fetch different kind of field list from the JSON. Okay, or means in later on you can replace it with the live data, and you can integrate with the service endpoint. Okay, so for now testing purpose we prepared the JSON and we will fetch that JSON. Okay, so here according to for register for like user or employee. Okay, according to that I will fetch the JSON. Okay, that is why I means this component expects, so for which component you are going to fetch the fields. Okay, so register for I kept, and here what I will do, I will keep on private property register for on string type, and I will use get reg sorry okay, I will use set property set register for input or any, and I will assign this input to register for. Okay, so why I'm going to use this, because whenever once we get the register for input from the parent, I will assign this dot register book service dot set register for this dot register for input. Okay, because every logic should be written inside the register book service. Okay, and next thing I will call this dot register book service dot request to fetch fields. Okay, so this is not expecting anything. Okay, now this method will fetch the respective JSON fields. I will write another method apt fetch fields, and here I will write one switch case. Okay, this dot register for that string already is coming. So here what I will do, okay, from here only I will check that register for exist or not, otherwise it will be blank. Here I will check to uppercase. I will convert it to uppercase so that comparison will be easy. So case, suppose user. Okay, so if user is coming, here I will consider one scope variable. Let fields will be, okay, by default will be blank array, and here I will assign fields equal to user, that registration mock fields. Now if you go to the top section here, see mock is my folder. Okay, so instead of adding mock slash, okay, uh, mock slash emp or user registration mock fields, actually it only consider the mocks folder, because the mocks folder is having index.ts file, and index.ts file is having all the necessary paths of the files. Okay, and Angular TypeScript by default points index.ts file for the folder. Okay, here I will break it, and I will write for another case here emp instead of user emp. Okay, e in small letter. Okay, say, okay, so here actually showing two options. One is add constant and another is add this to existing import declaration. Okay, because all file paths already, that is why in one line we can able to add with comma separated. Okay, so here what I will do, I will return the fields. Now if you hover the method, it will show it returns an array. Okay, now here for testing purpose only. Okay, so here I will use of operator from RxJS, and we can pass the field. So here what I will do, this dot this field, and this method actually will return that fields array, and I will means user should wait for a second to populate the fields. So why I'm doing this, because in live scenario, if you call the if you implement the endpoints to the service, so it will take some time, okay, to return the field list. Okay, so that is why I'm going to achieve the same scenario with the testing purpose. So here I will use one pipe operator from RxJS, and here also I will use the delay, and here delay, okay, delay, and it should delay 500 millisecond, and after that I will use subscribe Okay, response will come finally, and I will assign this. Okay, and I will consider another public property, public fields, which will be an array type of any. Okay, and here we will assign that fields whatever coming from JSON. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this service. And I will write another two method. One is request for save. Okay, and another will be on reset. Okay, so once user click on that reset button, that field should be reset as it is previous. Now, as of now, I will console the model this dot fields, that fields array. Okay, and here, okay, I will come to this method on reset in just a bit later. Okay, now it's good, looking good. Now we have created. Okay, now next thing is to open that register book TDF component. Okay, here we need to write that logic to populate the dynamic field. First, we have to use the form, and I will attach event like submit as we discussed in previous. So here I'm going to use that service instance dot, the method is exist in this service only, request for save. Once user click on that button, save submit button, this method will be fired and it will log the field's value. Okay, now next thing. So that's all for the day, and try it by yourself. And still, if you have any queries, don't forget leave a message in the comment section below. And in my upcoming video, I will show you rest of the things, how to loop through each field and validate each field with dynamically. So stay tuned for that time. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.